Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Reboot It. Tonight we're joined by.
Amanda Berlin.
Hey, you got it right this time
I know.
because you're the only person we have on.
And I remembered that I'm supposed to introduce myself.
So how are you doing, Amanda?
Good. Busy, but good. I can't wait until school starts.
School starts for me on Monday.
Does it?
Classes don't start, but I'm back under contract. I'm sitting here right now looking. I've got some meetings on Monday. First one 9 a.m. I'm usually not even out of bed by that time. So trying to get my bearings.
Classes start for my kids the 24th of August.
Yeah, classes start for me the 21st of August.
Nice.
So
Not
anyway,
soon.
basically my summer vacation is over. I'm sad, but
That
it
your
is
summer
what it is.
vacation's over. I am happy because I'll be able to sleep in till 20 after 6 now every morning.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm usually a morning person, except when school's not in the summer. You get in this habit of like, sleeping as much as you want to. Like today, I probably slept until like 10.
Well, so my sleep schedule's messed up because Michael's 15 and doesn't drive, and he has this great job that he doesn't love, but he loves getting paid as a 15-year-old.
That's what a lot of people say about their grown-up jobs.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, but we're all able to drive ourselves to our own jobs,
For the most part.
which he is not. So
Yeah.
he has to be there at 5:30 on the weekends and 6 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Have you thought about maybe getting them an Uber?
It is a 25-minute drive one way.
That's a
And
long
we
drive.
live in the middle of nowhere. I don't know that we have Uber on weeknights, let alone or like weekend nights, let alone like 5 a.m. in the
I thought
morning.
Uber was everywhere. I mean, we got Uber in West Virginia.
But you live in a city.
Well, some people call it that.
My town has 3,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's not an option.
It is not. So
Lyft. You get Lyft.
I don't know. I should open it up on
Have
my
you
phone
looked?
and see. I haven't, but like I just assumed.
Somebody I know was at a conference in Texas, and he used Uber for the first time this morning. I'm like, it's only been around now for 20 years. It seems
See,
like.
it still thinks I'm in Vegas.
Well, you know what? It happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas. So how was DEF CON?
Tiring.
At DEF CON Las Vegas.
Very tiring. So I borrowed a badge for B-Sides, and because I didn't want to go to the whole con, and right, kind of walked around and did the hello everybody thing, and then waited until DEF CON and just worked taking pictures. But it was more me trying to find things
Yeah.
as well as everybody else. Like it was a new venue, and it was
These are
really
huge.
it was very oddly laid out because I had never been in the conference center in Caesars before.
Yeah.
So all these people were trying to ask me for directions, and
You look like you might know what you're doing.
they just walk up to any red shirt and they're like, "Hey, do you know where this is?" I'm like, "No, but that's where I'm going. Can we try and find it together?" So, and there was this big ordeal with me getting my badge, and then I missed my flight.
Ouch.
Yeah, I missed my flight coming home.
Was it a direct flight, at least?
It was not, well, my flight home was supposed to be a direct flight.
But it wasn't in the end, I understand.
No. So, like, my flight was supposed to leave 12:30 a.m., like Sunday night, Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed it was like 11:30 and I was still in the casino. And I'm like, well, there's no way I'm going to ever make that because the TSA lines were crazy.
I'm sure everyone's leaving.
So I rescheduled a flight, which I thought was for the next morning at 8:30. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll sleep and then I'll be able to get to the airport by 6:30 and I'll be able to get out of there on time. Well, it turns out that I, in my haze, booked a flight for 2 weeks out at 8:30 in the morning.
What?
So I got to the airport and it wouldn't let me check in. And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm having issues with like the self check-in thing, blah da da. She's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but this is for like August. It was like for August 14th or something.
It's like for
Like,
this coming week, right?
yeah, this next Monday. So I'm like, oh, that's great. So they were able to cancel that without any fees, but the only available flight, so this was at 6:30 a.m. Monday morning. The
Uh-huh.
only available flight was 10:30 p.m.
You have to be kidding me.
Nope. And there was a layover in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh,
So
you could have gone to spring break.
I went from Vegas to Fort Lauderdale, back to Detroit, all on Spirit, by the way. And it was a nightmare. But I promised to never ever miss a flight again because that was terrible.
I've been pretty lucky. Actually, I'm the kind of person that will go there like 6 hours before the flight because I'm so nervous about it.
Normally, I'm really good about it. That time, not so much.
We had a speaker. I'm not going to name names for HackerCon one year who got drunk and forgot he had a flight,
Oh my god,
and basically was at another conference. Is like, hey, I'm not going to make it.
that's crazy.
He's like, I could rebook, but at this point, you just fuck it. So,
Yeah, that's
but
crazy.
yeah, I guess the conference season really for locally is coming up. We've got a bunch of things. It's in the share notes. I'm not going to sit and read these. I get
No.
tired of reading these. So,
Yeah, we'll just talk about the
okay,
good
that's
ones.
good. So we've got, yeah, not the shitty ones, just the good ones.
The ones that I'm gonna be at.
The ones that we're both are going to be at, and the rest of them we don't care.
So that's only DerbyCon, right?
Pretty much. No, I'm going to Skydog, I think.
I don't know if I can go or not.
Submitted a talk today, and I think that we're going to try to make an attempt to make it.
I can.
I submitted a talk, and it's only like $90 for tickets. So,
like, I don't have kids that weekend, but I
come.
will go if I can get a free ride.
Well,
so, like if somebody's driving, I will go, and if I can find a hotel room to stay in, I will go.
drive down to Huntington, and you can stay in our hotel room.
It's in Huntington?
No, but you could catch a free ride from Huntington to Nashville. Yeah, Sky.con got moved. Did you not know?
Right. I'm like, I thought it was in Nashville.
No, it's still in Nashville.
Okay.
Let's not confuse us. Confuse everyone. Okay, DerbyCon's coming up September 22nd through 24th. Are you going to training?
I'm not.
Yeah, I never make it to training. I should go. I need to.
I did the second and third year I went, I made it to training.
I never have the money to go to training, and then there's it's just a weird time of the year to get money from my employer to do anything. Right. So.
Well, you still have a job though, right? You were worried about that for a while?
Oh, well, I think I'm going to be fine. I mean, we have a growing program, and I think, but it's just a weird time in higher education across the United States. Tuitions continue to rise because states continue to cut funding, even to things that are, putting out graduates who are getting good jobs. All my graduates, 99.9% of them are getting good jobs.
Perfect.
There are some people who don't want to relocate, and that becomes a problem.
How did your students like Black Hat and volunteering? And
I haven't talked to them. I actually have set up an appointment. I'm going to have lunch with one of them on Monday. Apparently, he was able to snag me a bag and a shirt.
Oh, very cool.
But it seems like the organizers were really happy with them, and he ended up the one I'm thinking about, who's already graduated, getting a job with a major, military industrial complex employer. So nice. He's very happy. He said he was so happy he could cry. So
very cool.
It's what he wants to do, and he's got some skills, and he'll do great. So besides DC is coming up, DerbyCon sold out.
Oh yeah.
Dave keeps teasing he's going to release more tickets. I am speaking at DerbyCon.
Oh yeah.
That's about the only thing that's changed. I have a room and I'm speaking. I guess Blair's coming with me if we can work that out. Skydog Con is October 20th through the 22nd in Franklin, Tennessee, which is basically Nashville, and their CFP is still open.
Yes.
It's still open until September 1st. So check it out, skydog.com. GurCon, October 26th and the 27th in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Are you going to GurCon?
Too far. That is a drive for me.
It is a drive. I'm only going for one day.
We drove up to Purdue, which is probably about halfway, and that was enough for me.
Well, I'm speaking at GurCon and also the next one, which is O'Reilly Security Conference, and so they're right back to back. So I'll be in.
Like the GurCon CFP might still be open.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I could click on the link and look, but I'm too lazy.
Fine, I'll do it. The O'Reilly one is not present. Yeah, it is not open.
GurCon?
No.
Not open. Okay, let's take that out. What's this? Editing magic.
But that is not sold out as far as I know.
Okay.
So that's a very good conference. I wish I could stay longer, but I'm basically going to drive 5 hours, give my talk, maybe stay the night, and then drive back.
And then you got O'Reilly.
Fly out to New York Sunday and stay until Wednesday. So if anybody is a listener and in New York City, we're going to do like a people not going to the con Manhattan meetup thing. So just get at me.
So for both of our listeners, if one of you happen to be in New York City,
and if you want to go to the conference, you can use I have like a cheat code to get a percentage off the tickets.
Code. We call those discount codes.
Oh, right. Discount code. I couldn't think of the word discount.
That's hilarious. Okay, awesome. Sounds like a good time. I'm sorry I can't be there.
That's okay.
I'll be lucky to make it to DerbyCon, which is set, Skydog Con, maybe if they accept my talk, and my own conference, which is coming up. We'll talk about in a second.
You better go to your own.
Yeah. Besides Raleigh, October 28th. It's in Raleigh, North Kakalaki. Huh?
I'll list all these. It's too late now. You're already halfway.
Besides Charleston's in November. Besides Charleston.com. HackerCon 8, Secure WV3, the Ocho. Oh, yeah. So CFP is open until September the 1st.
I think mine got accepted.
I'm sure it did. You should come to one of our hyper organized meetings sometime.
Benny replied back to me.
Well, as long as Benny replies back to you, you're good to go. So great. I guess I'm speaking. I'm trying to kind of hoping that I'm going to speak enough this year, quite frankly. I'm kind of hoping that we get enough people submit that I don't have to speak, to be honest with you.
That would be great.
Because sometimes every year I say I'm not going to submit to Derby, but every year I submit to Derby because I want a ticket.
Yep.
And I'm waiting for the schedule to come out. One time Dave had me scheduled on Sunday afternoon, and about all my hair fell out. Because you don't think you're nervous, but I'm getting better about not being nervous, mainly because I submit for stable talks, which are a lot smaller crowds.
Yeah, why would you be nervous? You stand up in front of people and talk all the time.
I don't know, but I've said that before. I don't know why it's different. I mean, it's a tougher crowd. My students usually aren't drunk. Well, I take that back. But you know what I'm saying? It's a much tougher trial. You're basically dealing with people who have sort of antisocial tendencies. And if they think it's bullshit, they're going to say it's bullshit. And that's not that what I'm going to say is bullshit, but it makes you kind of nervous. My last year talk ended up in basically a very polite riot. Were you there for that?
I was not.
Yeah, making our profession more professional was not well received.
I think a lot of people need it though.
Well, I agree too. But it is what it is.
I mean, that could kind of go on into our
Yeah.
first story.
Salesforce fires red team staffers about DEF CON talk. So you were there for this. Did
Oh,
you?
there is a lot of uproar, lots of drama. Like
So
that's one thing that DEF CON's great at. Like there's always drama during and after. Like it was a ridiculous amount this year. I tried to stay out of all of it and did a pretty good job.
it's always drama, drama, drama.
Yeah.
Let me read the
So
story and we can talk about it.
okay, go for it.
Salesforce has fired its director of offensive security and other senior staffers after they gave a talk, and another senior staff member after they gave a talk at DEF CON in Las Vegas last month. Josh Schwartz, director of offensive security, and Josh Cramb, senior offensive security engineer from Australia, um, worked on a red team, and they basically have this tool they called Meat Pistol, which is a module malware framework for implant creation. So
What else does meat pistol mean, Bill?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No?
Is it a pistol made out of meat?
I think so.
But I know what you're getting at. So basically, it's innuendo,
It is.
sexual innuendo, and that in itself may have been
For
offensive enough. But they've given this talk before.
a dick.
Okay, you had to say it. I'm trying to be nice and be like, it's sexual innuendo, and Amanda's like, yeah, it's a dick.
However, there are now 3 definitions on Urban Dictionary for meat pistol.
Okay, let's hear that. I'm glad you're here to enlighten us.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear this.
So one is for a dick. That's the top definition, by the way. The second is a catch in by a receiver in American football when both the receiver and defensive back go up for the football and the receiver embarrasses the what's the DB? Defensive back and comes down with the football and vice versa. So it's some kind of play or accidental thing in football.
Well,
American
basically,
football.
somebody's throwing a pass, 2 guys go up for it, one comes down with it.
Right. And number 3 is a really awesome modular malware platform announced at DEF CON 25. And the example is, did you hear those guys got fired for meat pistol?
So apparently they're being represented by the EFF.
Are they? That's good.
That's according to this news story.
So
Electronic Audio Foundation.
I have I can see both sides. Lots of people are up in arms about it, and he probably is too, since he's the one that got fired. Because they did not provide very adequate notice. It had been given before.
Well, to me, that's the big thing. It's been given before, apparently.
Yeah, but it was given. It wasn't given at a super popular conference that Salesforce
It was given at a black T-shirt conference, where that either Salesforce did not know or did not care. I don't know that they had to clear these things.
Yeah, right. So if you don't have the processes in place to clear this kind of stuff, I don't feel like you should be able to, be reprimanded. I mean, you could be reprimanded for it. Getting fired, I think, is a little much.
Well, but what was the reason? Was it because it wasn't?
I think it's because of the name. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's because of the name. I've also heard like it was an internal tool, so they didn't want that to be released.
That's kind of a problem.
I feel like it was probably because of the name.
Well,
but
if it's an internal tool, and then it's the intellectual property of
right. So I could see Salesforce's point as well, because if you are, I mean, they're a very well-known company. You don't want your brand globally from, and professionally being associated with Dick, right?
Yeah, In the
Like,
same
if that
way,
were my company, I don't know that I would have fired him. That
and,
seems a
and
little
I'm going to say this
much.
publicly. I love Adrian Crenshaw to death, but he wants me to co-present a talk titled "Frogs, Flags, and Weaponized Autism." I'm like, I appreciate it, Adrian. I know what you're saying is, but that would not go over very well with my employer.
Yeah.
And you're, I mean, I don't mind talking to you about it, but generally, you've got some great points, but the name of that is problematic for me.
Yeah. And people in the real world as adults have to know that that's a problem. Like, I am probably one of the most crude and inappropriate people ever, but I know when to turn it off and be professional.
Well, there's a point where you're just being civil.
Right.
Um, I still say that if I had to do it all over again, I'd be born an English gentleman with a country house and a staff. And I would love to get dressed 4 times a day, and have dinner that had rules.
Yeah.
To me, that's fun, but not to that extreme. But when you're participating in society, you have a certain set of standards you have to deal with. I don't care if you're working for the ice cream company or for Salesforce.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I understand. I understand where these people are coming from, but I really, really think that I understand where Salesforce is coming from.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get both ends, but I
But I feel sorry for them. But then
right.
again, shouldn't they have some sense?
Oh, another funny thing is that I know people that are actively trying to get being recruited by Salesforce's red team, which is hysterical.
Because nobody wants to go to work there now.
Because nobody wants to work for him
I
now.
think it was Khalil that said that's the one way you could
Oh
really,
yeah.
screw up recruiting for your red team is when you start firing
During DEF CON.
during DEF CON. But isn't the clash of cultures as it always has been?
Oh yeah.
We're I don't want to be stereotypical, but we're black T-shirt wearing, mohawk having, 14 piercings, and wearing a kilt. I mean, how more antisocial can you be?
Yeah.
And we have to work in these. We have to work within the rules of society, and it's always going to be a struggle.
And it sucks, but
I call it suits versus hoodies, and I'm stuck right in the middle.
I feel like
Um,
I'm stuck in the middle sometimes.
and
I
I've
can
got,
play to my audience too.
yeah.
Like,
Well, conference, a talk I give at HackerCon is not the same talk I give at AID. The
yeah,
talk I give at DerbyCon is not the same talk I give uh, to InfraGard.
right.
Um, so knowing your audience is big, but I don't know. It's definitely a problem in my opinion, and I know people hate me for saying this, but we can't act like a bunch of jackasses and
Mm-hmm.
expect people to take us seriously.
Right.
There's
But
enough jackarassery going around the InfoSec community, especially on Twitter, for everyone.
and I feel depending on what you want to do in life and the audience you want to reach, that's going to really matter how you come across on social media and in person too. I mean, um, I feel like for what I want to accomplish in life, my amount of uh, jackassing around is uh, acceptable, I guess.
Well, I mean, there's a certain amount of jackassing you can do in public. There's a certain amount of shit posting you can do
Yeah.
without being disruptive to your
Right.
professional life. But I
Right.
think you have to know when to say when.
Yep.
So our next story, which is also a DEF CON story. Are we done talking about the first story before I go on?
We are. Yeah, we are.
Um, British cybersecurity figure has been arraigned in Las Vegas after he was indicted in Wisconsin for basically being the author of WannaCry. Do I have this straight? The
I
story is so convoluted.
there's There's so much shit going around on the internet about this that I have absolutely no idea what's up.
I don't either. I mean, I actually linked to a video in the show notes, which is was done by Hack5 Threatwire, which Shannon does a really good job of like trying to lay out the facts that we know now. And the facts
Yeah.
we know now is this guy was collared, basically arrested on his way out of Las Vegas, charged with either authoring or helping to sell WannaCry. He is known to the community as the guy who was able to stop the spread of WannaCry. His name is Robert Paulson. No, Marcus Hutchison's. Marcus Hutchison's, 23.
Hutchins.
Hutchins, sorry. And he's from England. And so he was grabbed on a Friday, spent the weekend in jail. And now what happens after that, no one seems to know. Tara Wheeler started a defense fund for him,
Yep.
which is out there, and the money is going to his lawyers, which were apparently contracted by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, the EFF, who we just talked about a second ago in that other case. And the money goes to that lawyer. I'm trying to find their name, but I see I've been in contact with journalists trying to cover this, and they say that everyone's clammed up. And I'm also told by people who know things about how the law works that this looks a lot like perhaps it's a plea agreement. So
Yeah.
the turn states Adrian Lobo is Mr. Hutchins' lawyer in Las Vegas. So we don't know what's going on. He apparently has been freed. Not sure what's happening. He does defend companies against malware attacks for a living as a reverse engineer. But that's what we know at this point.
Yep.
I know somebody who was with him right before he was grabbed too, who called me on Sunday night freaking out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because basically they were using things against him that everyone does when they go to hacker summer camp. You know, he went to the DEF CON shoot. He went to a shooting range. I don't know if he went to DEF CON shoot. So he went to a shooting range, right?
All right.
He rented a really fast car, right? He stayed in a really expensive place. Well,
half of my friends do that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's what this person was bothered about. I'm like, you know, we've got friends who rent a house when they go to.
It's a mansion. It's not a house.
It's a freaking mansion.
It's a mansion.
And actually,
because they're cheaper.
Yeah, than a hotel.
If you have a team of people going, you don't want to pay anywhere from $200 to $500 a night per room. You can rent
a mansion.
You can Airbnb mansions for sale for like $1,200 a night or something crazy.
Right. And then you go rent yourself a nice car, like a Lamborghini or something else, you know. Write this all off as a company expense if your company's doing it.
All right.
I think I've got an idea for next year's DEF CON. Hey, if you're a small business or a sole proprietor, you need all the tax credits you can get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then this person was really worried, and then was the person who told me that Tara Wheeler was starting up a legal defense fund for this guy. I think his handle's Malware Tech. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to make sure I got all that right. So, did you see any of this happen?
I did not.
I also understand that federal law enforcement had a pretty big presence, and some people that we know went over and asked them what they were doing, and they said that they had set up a secure area.
Damn.
So
feds.
My question is, were they surveilling everyone at the conference, or just the specific person, Mr. Hutchins, or perhaps other people they were trying to keep an eye on?
Yeah.
But anyway, makes you not want to go to DEF CON, quite frankly, in some ways.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, if you're not doing things that are illegal,
Also true.
A lot of people I know will not even wade into this discussion because they said they're not a lawyer.
You can still say your opinion.
Yeah.
These are my opinions based on the facts that I know.
We have. Oh, this is funny. I'll say this on the podcast because most of you all know that I'm kind of a gun nut in that I like to shoot the guns, and I don't carry guns, but I have them in my house. They're opening up an indoor range close to my house, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And someone's reaction on Facebook, of course, was anger.
Really?
Some people just don't like guns. They don't hear about guns. They don't want to talk at guns. They don't want to look at guns because they're afraid of them.
Get rid of them.
So anyway. So I don't know if there's anything else to say about this matter because we don't know what we don't know. And I guess we'll find out. That's the only thing I have to say. I mean, I think that if you go back and you read the indictment, they're talking about transactions that happened years ago on the dark web.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just very convoluted and confusing. If you want to check the show notes, we've got some links to a couple stories, including the Hack 5 Threat Wire video, and the links there also under the video, which was the latest that was known when the video was released. And there's a number of people covering the story, but I don't know that I've seen anything else come out.
Right. More to come.
So this is your story down here at the bottom. Cyber attack leaves millions of mobile phone service in Venezuela.
Yes.
So
7 million phone users lost service.
How'd they Snapchat?
7. I don't know.
How'd they Tinder?
That's crazy. I don't know that I would be able to go that long without
Snapchat and Tinder.
Yes, totally.
No
more Tinder for me. I'm done with it.
What about your wonderful research?
I'm done with it, actually. I'm done with it. I gave the talk. I'm good.
You didn't find me anywhere, did you?
No.
I worry about people like using my face and picture just to be a troll.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I did use your face for my FetLife fake profile.
Awesome.
So,
awesome.
Is that all right?
That's just awesome.
All right.
But whatever. I mean, whatever. At this point, can't get any worse.
Yeah, the talk I gave in Columbus seemed to be well received. It was a lot of very awkward white males not making eye contact with me while I had.
But girls talking about dirty stuff.
Yep. It was very funny. I had like 2 people that were actually interested in what I was having to say. And
they probably both had
everybody
profiles.
else. Yeah, everybody else was like staring at their phones.
So you did actually find people you knew, right?
Well, yeah. Lots of people I know are on there.
Did you save the pictures?
No, I did not.
Damn it!
No, and the pictures that I displayed at the conference.
Yeah.
Like, did I talk about this research that I did on this podcast?
I think you and I talked about it, but I don't think you
okay.
talked about it on the podcast.
So for the listeners, I'll give you a short overview of what
for the
it was.
shorties.
Yeah. So there's a website called fetlife.com that's like the Facebook for kinky people. But unlike Facebook, Facebook has a hell of a lot more security controls than FetLife does, because with Facebook, you can lock it down, so you have to be friends with people for them to see your stuff. You can, filter certain posts so different people can see it. You can filter so you have different groups, and it's great the granularity of control you have over the different stuff you put on there. Well, with FetLife, you create an account. You can see everybody and everything they've ever posted. Everywhere on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you able to identify people basically by looking for like the Twitter handles?
That's what like the next step is.
Yeah.
So what I did was I had a friend help me create this Python script, that so like if you do fetlife.com/users/1, that's the dude that created it. Mine was like users/7 million, blah 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 as a number. My goal was, and I stopped at like 170 people. My goal was to download every user number and username, where they were from, their age, and what they identified as. And I have a friend that has an elk stack that he has put in all of the like big database dumps over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So you can search across multiple platforms. So you could potentially see, this user used his corporate account on Dropbox, but he also uses the same username on FetLife.
Right. So
potentially damning stuff, especially when anybody can see anything. So that was the premise of the talk. I had taken screenshots of some of the stuff that was on there, like what the profiles look like and so forth. But like all the naughty bits,
Were you trying to be professional?
Oh yeah, well, kind of. All the little comic
meat pistol. Let's look at it.
All the comic like bang pow pop things from like old Batman stuff. I used that to cover.
It's awesome.
Everything. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That is awesome.
Yep. But it was interesting.
It's an interesting talk. It's an interesting subject. People go online, think they're being anonymous or they're being private or whatever, but discreet, but they're not at all.
Right.
So it kind of makes me want to go look to see how many people I know, but then again, what does it matter? Anyway. So are you ready for North Korean attacks?
I don't keep up with any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But anyway.
Yep.
I think that's all of our stories. Is there anything else to talk about? I apologize. This has been so late. We did not get a show out last week.
Oh, we didn't?
No, and you would think that, I don't think so. 77, I think, was a week before last. Let me look. I'll tell you. 77 with Matt Perry was June 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a busy summer. I'm still trying to wrap up projects. I've had a good summer. It's just been busy in its own way.
Kind of ready. I have something we can talk about, but not until the next one.
Oh, let's talk about it now.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because it's a time-sensitive thing. I'll tell you after we're done recording.
Okay. Don't have to be a tease or anything. Wow.
That's a tease for people to keep listening.
So, yeah, okay. Well, come by. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
You shut JR. So come back next week for another exciting episode of Reboot It. No, awesome. That's fine. I don't know when we'll do it next week. Probably it's going to be Wednesday or Friday. I have a retirement party to go to on Tuesday. A lot of people retiring. I guess that there's just a lot of baby boomers who are reaching into that age. But the university, they're dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming on. I won't keep you longer than I have to. We've got enough for a show, and we'll be back next week. And the only thing I would have to say is remember, HackerCon Secure WV tickets are on sale. SecureWV.com. CFP is open. We're still looking for sponsors. We'd love to take your money. We need your money. If we don't have sponsors, we can't have the conference, and that would suck. So, anyway, thanks a lot, Amanda, for coming on, and see everybody next week.
Bye.